I want to refresh everyone on what exactly we are doing in the CPUSA and what the CPUSA 2036 initiative is. CPUSA 2036 is our initiative to take over the Communist Party USA. Why do we have to have a specific strategy to do that? Because around October of 2021, the Central Committee of the Communist Party of the USA officially denounced infrared as chauvinistic, sexist, transphobic, misogynistic, racist, and everything under the sun. They condemned us, and we had no right to a trial. They lied about us, and they said I was sexist and all these things. I was not sexist back then. I was not. I literally wasn't. I mean, I am now in a way, right? But I wasn't then. Back then, I was just a wholesome guy, and we literally had feminists running our fucking Discord. How the fuck was I sexist, right? So there was a bunch of fucking bullshit. But up until that point, we were single-handedly responsible for the renewed and revived interest in the Communist Party. When I was streaming on Twitch back in the 2021, summer of 2020, I revived and floated the idea of reviving the Communist Party USA. Now, in spring of 2021, the Communist Party, nobody gave a fuck about that party. Everyone was interested in the DSA and the Democratic Socialists. I single-handedly started drawing attention to the Communist Party because I, without any reservation, said we are communists with a capital C. Our goal is to revive the capital C Communist Party USA. We're not socialists. We're not democratic socialists. We're not interested in that. We want the Communist Party to be a great party. That was our goal. It was the CPUSA 2036 initiative in its first form. Then came the so-called Pat Sock controversy, where a bunch of anarchists infiltrated the Communist Party. And all of a sudden, the ultra-left line, according to which orthodox Marxism-Leninism should be thrown overboard in favor of the new view that started to prevail among the uneducated, illiterate, and immature children who flooded the Communist Party, was that Marx and Engels were wrong and that the class struggle was not national in form. That the class struggle has no national form at all. It's just form and content. And that, moreover, class struggle is not even important unless it's baristas going on strike or Netflix employees going on strike over transphobia. And that the only thing that actually mattered was being guilty about being white for the crimes of the settler colonial founding of America or whatever. So the basic idea was that even the basic orthodoxy that has characterized the Communist Party of the United States of America, which is literally what the party is called, that basic orthodoxy was thrown overboard, and the U.S. flag was considered an evil flag and on par with the Israeli flag or even the flag of Nazi Germany. So this ultra-left contingent within the Communist Party decided to lie to Joe Sims and the Central Committee leadership that infrared was chauvinistic and racist because we just upheld the basic Marxist-Leninist orthodoxy when it came to the stance on patriotism and American patriotism. But here's the problem. The problem lies with the fact the Central Committee was not stupid. Tara and them, they didn't have a problem with the fact that we upheld the basic orthodoxy of Marxism-Leninism when it came to American patriotism. I mean, that's been true for the Communist Party for every year that it has existed. It's been true. And it's moreover been true for every single Communist Party the world over. Without exception, actually, right? It's a basic Marxist-Leninist truism that the class struggle is national in form, and that the Communist Party wages a dual struggle. One is the democratic national struggle, and the other one is the class struggle, right? That's just like basic Marxism-Leninism. Everyone knows about it. Even the CPUSA leadership knows about it. So what was the real reason we were condemned by the Communist Party USA? It was because we decided to deviate from their line when it came to tailing the Democratic Party. We are Maoists and they are revisionists. We're Maoists and they're revisionists. And our cover was blown because we refused to accept that the Communist Party should be running water for the Democratic Party. And that is why they condemned us. It's not because of chauvinism. It's not because of any of that bullshit. It's not even because of patriotism. It was because we didn't want to run water for the Democratic Party. Why was that? Just what is so significant about Maoism in this regard? Well, the basic idea, to simplify it to you, is that For Mao, the democratic struggle is waged when you go to the countryside and you encircle the cities. Whereas for the revisionists, the democratic struggle is waged when you tail the ruling bourgeois institutions that call themselves democratic. It is literally that simple. We wanted to wage the democratic struggle from the American hinterlands and from rural America and flyover America and therefore MAGA America. We thought that's where you wage the democratic struggle, not in the so-called democratic institutions of the ruling class. So we are Bolsheviks and they are Mensheviks. Yes, it's almost that simple. And for that reason, we were denounced by the leadership of the Communist Party. So since then, what did we do? We said, well, Infrared is not an organization. It's just a show on the internet. It's a webcast on the internet, if you will, in the wise words of Joe Sims. So we told our supporters, continue to stay in the CPUSA, but conceal your views. Conceal that you're an infrared watcher, conceal your ideology, blend in with the libtards, because by 2023, they're going to hold their national committee elections, and we will just elect our people in and pretty much do a purge to get rid of the shit libs and open the floodgates of the party to the MAGA working class, the real working class. Now, for anyone who's confused about why the MAGA working class is the real working class, because there's something called general labor. What about the whole diverse working class? The problem is that it's undialectical. Among the working class, however diverse it is, there is a segment of the working class that epitomizes the interests and the reality of what's called general labor. Abstract labor is the foundation of capitalist political economy. So there's one form of labor that represents the universal equivalent, not because of its relation to use value per se, but because of its material relationship to the structural, economic, and institutional origination of labor value and labor itself. Where does general labor come from? Out of which all other forms of labor are merely equated. So that's general labor. And general labor in the United States, so far, unless we have a new deal of some kind that changes everything on an institutional or economically structural level, general labor is still epitomized by the blue-collar working class. And the first form of political consciousness of the blue-collar working class taken on was the MAGA movement. You can like it or not, it doesn't matter. The blue-collar working class, for the first time, articulates a political consciousness of itself and its own interests in the form of the MAGA movement. Why? Because Trump's MAGA movement was explicitly founded on bringing back the jobs. Now, you may argue this is a false consciousness. To some extent, it's correct that it's a false consciousness. But MAGA isn't just reducible to that specific false consciousness. It's the first form of self-consciousness, however false it may be. It's the first movement of the working class in this country for decades now, right? That's what MAGA was. So MAGA communism is actually terribly simple, if you think about it. It's the political real movement. And if you have a problem with MAGA, prove yourself. Go actually down to these MAGA working class people and convince them that your way is the correct way. That's what we're trying to do. That's the whole point of MAGA communism, that MAGA needs communism. I digress. This is our strategy, and it was all in anticipation of the elections that were supposed to happen this year, okay? The elections, again, that were supposed to happen this year, in 2023. But there's a problem. The problem is that for a myriad of reasons, most of which have to do with the fact that infrared supporters have flooded the Communist Party USA, the elections were postponed by a year to 2024. So the elections that will determine the future of the leadership of the Communist Party have been postponed to the year 2024. And that has created something of a problem as far as we're concerned. This changes things. Now, are we going to continue our plan? Yes, we're going to continue our plan. Are we going to continue to wait it out? Yes, we are. If you're in the Communist Party, stay there. Stay there. If you are in a position within the Communist Party in which it is possible to become or get a delegate in who's one of us, stay in the fucking party. Stay in the party so you can vote in the party. Absolutely stay in the party. But there are a number of people who cannot engage in the takiya of the Communist Party for a number of reasons. One is that they already got caught. Another is that they can't start a club or a chapter. And there are specific areas in America where the Communist Party doesn't really have a very strong presence, such as the Midwest. And it's not, no matter what they do, they will not receive the attention of the National Committee. And the National Committee is only interested in appointing delegates who have done some noteworthy thing or renown of some kind in the areas of concern that they care about. So you're going to have to do the Starbucks bullshit and all that kind of stuff, and then they're going to promote you. So what are we going to do about it? For those of you who have been kicked out of the CPUSA already, we need to initiate an attempt to create contact between partisans and the people. It's not about organizing us and the infrared viewership. It's about doing the things the CPUSA is supposed to be doing, which is reaching the MAGA working class. Like going to Trump rallies and so on and so forth. Things that I did in my video. Volunteering for charity. Doing cleanup work for tornadoes and shit. I mean, something has to initiate that kind of work. And Operation MAGMA is all about creating the hegemonic shell of the Communist Party of the future before it's the Communist Party. In other words, the plan that is in the works, and you will get more announcements of this through late January and February, we are going to start our own organization. And this organization will have the Maoist aim in its founding constitution of reconstituting the CPUSA. So the goal of... no, it's not going to be PCUSA. It's not going to be anything that exists. And it's not really going to be an official party at all. It's going to be an organization which will be oriented to reforming and reconstituting the CPUSA, which will be reserved for people who have either gotten kicked out of the CPUSA or for some reason cannot join the CPUSA because of geography or anything else. And it's going to basically allow people to, in a decentralized way and in an age befitting of the information age, broadcast their experiences and their renown onto the internet. So, for example, if a club of this organization, and I'm not even going to share with you the name yet, is successful in doing some community outreach in their local community, that's going to be uploaded to the network. And it's going to be like a blockchain technology where with feds or people who commit erroneous mistakes, they're not going to be verified. So it's going to be both centralized on the internet, but decentralized in real life. And as far as where infiltrators are concerned, all the actions taken in the name of this organization, and it's going to be inherently decentralized for a reason, but all actions taken in the name of this organization have to be either verified or rejected online by the central whatever, which of course I'm going to be in. I'm going to be overseeing that, right? So it's going to be a system that rewards success and punishes either failure or wrecker shit, basically. It's not going to be a centralized community where I'm going to have a compound and you're all going to live with me or something. And we're not going to be doing like retreats or anything like that. The internet's going to play an extremely prominent role as far as the organization is concerned, but it's going to be a network united by nodes that are going to be local. And there's a special emphasis that will be played on the Midwest, where the CPUSA is probably the weakest, right? The CPUSA is big in New York, mainly just New York. The goal is to pretty much build up communist hegemony in the Midwest, and our success will be brought to the point where we will outmode. Even if we don't win those elections next year, we are going to outmode the CPUSA. We're going to become more renowned. We're going to become more known than they are because we're going to make more headlines. We're going to get more famous. I happen to know how to go viral. That is something I'm going to put to work as far as this organization is concerned. It's going to earn a name for itself in the same way MAGA communism earned a name for itself because of things like going to the MAGA rally that I did. We're going to be doing the same exact thing when it comes to this new organization. So this is almost like Operation Red Anon, but in real life. And the CPUSA can't do a damn thing about it. We are going to basically engage in all of the things the Communist Party should be doing right now. We will be the Communist Party in practice. We want to be the Communist Party in practice. Now, this is not overturning the previous strategy. It's just adding a new strategy. So it's a dual strategy. One strategy is takia, stay within the Communist Party, infiltrate it, right? Stay within it and take power. And the other one is going to be working openly in the light of day. No takia necessarily. Just do all the things you think the Communist Party should be doing. And it's going to be connected to the original Communist Party because in the founding constitution of this organization is going to be reconstituting the Communist Party. And there's so many details I'm not going to be able to announce tonight. I'm not going to even be able to announce the name tonight, per se. This is really fresh out of the oven for the past week. But I'm announcing it to you guys so you have something to look forward to. I'm not just going to leave you guys idle. Another thing is, if you are in the CPUSA right now, this is somewhat subjective, but if you're just sitting around attending these fucking meetings, doing nothing, and there's no hope for you to become a delegate, and it's just you and everyone else is a shitlib, it might be better to just join this new organization instead. But that should be on a case-by-case basis. But this is going to be an avenue for people to engage in work, besides just sitting around going to these CPUSA meetings. Because the whole point of our presence in the CPUSA is to eventually take over the party so that we can engage in this kind of praxis. Let's just engage in the praxis first. Thank you so much.
Would infrared graffiti/murals be a thing to do? Not that we would do such things.
No, we're not going to do anything illegal at all. That's also going to be important because within the constitution of the new party is going to also be any illegal activities will be considered Fed infiltrator activity. We don't approve of it and we disavow it, right? That's also going to be very important. But if you're going to work as a communist in this new organization, you're going to have to work in the light of day. You're going to have to show your face. We will never, ever, ever wear masks. We're not gonna fucking wear masks. Communists don't fucking wear masks. Those are the Antifa, cowards, and Hitlerites. We will never be like them. We're not going to exist to intimidate people or to shock people and the shock value. Yeah, we're going to rep communist iconography, but we're going to do it in a way that will be relatable to people. We're not going to be here to shock people and, we're not going to be provocateurs is what I mean to say. And I have another announcement. I want the name of this thing to be announced. I want to get this going by next month, okay? That's the goal. Also, I finally decided how I'm going to roll out the first piece of merch. It's going to be based on membership in this organization. Now, I think there's going to be two classes of membership within the organization. One is going to be takia based, and the other one is going to be operating in the light of day. So you can be a member of the organization while still being in the CPUSA, but you just have to make sure nobody finds out you're in the organization. But it's not going to be like a centralized thing. Like you're not going to get special info about the 2036 CPUSA takia thing. So we're preparing for infiltration. We are preparing for wreckers and spies and infiltrators to be all on board with this. And we're going to basically utilize new digital internet and possibly even blockchain technologies just to ensure that there is some kind of agreement between the central command and the decentralized actions people are doing in real life. We want to give people an opportunity to grow in real life, to form clubs with, like-minded people. These could be book clubs that you could even just form clubs to kick it back, have a fucking beer, chill out, talk about philosophy, talk about politics. I know after quarantine, a lot of people are lonely, and this could be a good opportunity. And also each club should find ways. Another thing is the finances, I don't really think are going to operate like a normal party. Like, ideally within your community, find a group of people, start this club, find innovative ways of making money, and you can just build from there. You can build your own fucking fiefdom, right? Will there be a tax? I don't know. Probably not. Right? Eventually, maybe in the CPUSA. This is just a good way to network, right? It's just a good way to network. Also, it'll be Second Amendment type of stuff. I don't necessarily think open carry is wise, but, going to the range, a lot of things like that. It's going to be a militant, legal, but militant organization. It's not going to be an infrared social club, but it's going to be a real life LARP, communist LARP, basically. And why am I calling it LARP? Because the goal is basically going to be doing things like, going to MAGA rallies and filming it and talking to people and basically LARPing as a communist in real life, just like everyone else does, but it's important. It's optically important that we start doing that because that inspires people. Honestly, it does. If you LARP in a tasteful way, in a non-cringe way, like that can inspire people. That can be really inspiring. And it does make an impression on people. It does, most definitely. You just have to be cognizant of what you're doing. So that's going to be something we do. We're also going to networking with MAGA at protests. MAGA rallies are probably going to be a place you're going to want to go, debate people, talk to people, recruit. And this is not a way to organize infrared viewers. This is the way for you guys to recruit people who, you know what I mean? This is a way to locally recruit people. So the goal, I'm going to just explain to you the goal of Operation Magma. Why is it called Operation Magma? Because the idea is that we want a communist organization to reach out to MAGA people to have them join. We want to grow the organization with MAGA people, right? That's the goal, is to reach the MAGA people. Eventually, we want to get to such a point where this organization will be so big and so prominent and have so many MAGA people in it, right, that we just dwarf the CPUSA. And then in the next elections, when our people get elected into the CPUSA, we're basically just going to take like at least a quarter of the CPUSA and declare ourselves to be the successor party of the CPUSA. By 2024, if we do not win as far as the elections are concerned and get into the Central Committee, that's what we're going to do. We're just going to take a big chunk of the CPUSA. And its membership and all of its resources and so on and so on. Legally, of course, we're just going to take it and we're just going to render them irrelevant. We're going to render them irrelevant and we're going to detail their corruption, right? We're going to detail how they violate democratic centralism. They arbitrarily expel people with no justification. Their support for the Democratic Party, while making it impossible for any dialogue or pushback, is frankly treacherous, right? There are all sorts of formal reasons why you could justify how the CPUSA has violated democratic centralism and, grounds for the reconstitution of not a new party. We're not going to found a new party from scratch. We're just going to draw from what exists while adding to it, right? So, thank you so much, Shingen. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, Shingen. Appreciate you. I've thought about this a lot because I realized a lot of our guerrillas are just languishing in these dead-end meetings at the CPUSA. Thank you so much, Shingen. Appreciate you.
My Turkic brother, may Tungri give you the strength and fortitude to bring the revolution.
Thank you so much, Shingen. We are going to take over the Communist Party one way or another. Even if that means building the embryo of the Communist Party's shadow double. And then it's almost like Operation Redanon, but in real life, right? What about Organization of the People's Party? We are committed to the Communist Party. We are committed to we believe in one Communist Party, right? The goal is basically to turn the Communist Party, if they won't budge, because what they did delaying the fucking elections by a year, they're violating democratic centralism. They're engaging in wrecker bullshit, right? This is corruption. This is pure corruption, pure and simple. So we're taking over the Communist Party one fucking way or another. We know we have a majority in that fucking party. We know we have at least, even if it's not a majority, it's at least a third of the party is our people. We know that for certain, right? So if we don't win in the elections coming up in 2024, on account of the fact that they've used dishonorable, dishonest, and formally unacceptable means to preserve their power and therefore the power of the Democrats, we will take 1/3 of the party. And we will basically turn them into a sect. We will turn the CPUSA, as it exists now, into a sect. And we will always, and then we'll start referring to them as CPUSA Democrat wing. Like, do you know how the Maoist parties do CPUSA ML? We'll do CPUSA DP, CPUSA DNC, right? They're just some fucking sect. They're not the real Communist Party. We're the real Communist Party, right? And we're gonna prove it through the merit of our praxis. We are going to engage in effective praxis. We are going to demand excellence. We are going to force excellence, right? Infrared, thank you so much, Scott.
Is it okay if I go to a club fair and rep infrared? I know colleges are cringe, but I want to reach people my age so that I can organize for your new org.
Thank you, Scott, but stand by for orders, because I have not even announced the name, let alone anything about the protocols of the organization. The Constitution hasn't even been written yet. So stand by for all of that. But yeah, the time will come. Well, that would be very effective to do. But this is something that's been cooking into the works. Yeah, we're going to step into real life. We're going to get famous. We're going to go viral, right? We're going to go viral. And joining will get you a hat. So if you join and you pay, maybe we'll make membership. We'll do like a one-time cost or something. I don't know. Some way to pay for the hats, because I don't have enough money to just mass produce them out of my own wallet and give them out for free. So you'll get a hat. If you join and you sign up, maybe it'll be like a monthly membership. I don't know, right? I have no fucking idea. I'll get a way to get you those hats. The hats will be cool as fuck. I'm going to make sure they're designed really well. This is the next step of MAGA communism. We're going to actually create an organization, and the goal is to fill this organization with MAGA people. Young conservatives, older conservatives, MAGA people, apolitical people, apathetic people. We're not going to be organizing among shit libs. The burden is on the libs to come to us. If libs want to come and join us, let them, right? But we're not going to go to them. If you're a lib, you're already conscientious and reflexive in a bourgeois manner. We have no interest in delibifying anyone. So another announcement I'm going to make is that the goal is for this organization to be ready for what? To be ready for CPAC next month or in 2 months. About 1 month from now. CPAC's in early March. I'm going to be going to CPAC, and I'm going to bring with me a posse of MAGA communists. We're going to be wearing the hat. We're going to be repping those LARP hats at CPAC and networking and reaching out at CPAC. Representing that we represent a real legitimate faction of the MAGA movement. So I'll be going to CPAC with those hats, and it's going to be in Washington, D.C. I'm going to be going. Jackson's going to be there as well. So yeah, this is what yesterday didn't stream because I've been kind of focusing on this shit, doing things of that nature. But yeah, infrared's going offline. Infrared's going offline. The goal has been to just go viral on the internet. Clearly that's not going to happen by itself if we don't have anything to show for it. We don't have any results to show for it. So there's going to be a praxeological relationship. Infrared's going to grow. The organization is going to grow. They're going to grow together. And the goal is to, by the end of the year, have something significant. The ball rolling. We want to get the ball rolling. This may fail. This whole thing, it didn't even start yet. We didn't even start it yet. But I just realized we can't keep fucking waiting for the elections next year. We can't. I know, but here's my concern is that some of you are getting a little too excited for this. And so I'm just kind of scared that some of you who are already in the CPUSA are going to try and ditch the CPUSA and like, no, let's go LARP in this one. No, this one is for people who are kicked out. This one is for people who have no chance in the CPUSA or they got kicked out. This is not for people who are already doing their duty and practicing taqiyya. We will join together by 2024 for certain, right? But we need people to stay in the CPUSA and remain undercover. Because if we don't have guerrillas in the CPUSA, this whole fucking thing collapses. Everything I just told you is pointless. If you leave the CPUSA, we can't fucking do this. So this relies on people who are in the CPUSA to stay in the CPUSA, okay? The whole thing hinges on that. By the way, if you are practicing taqiyya in the CPUSA and you're doing it successfully, you're telling me that you're the cream of the crop as far as future organizers are concerned. So one way or another, you will have a very prominent place. If you got kicked out of the CPUSA, you're going to have to earn your keep and prove you can be mature and effective. Because not being able to practice taqiyya is honestly sometimes a sign of mental inadequacy, and we don't want to encourage that, right? So being able to practice taqiyya, it's going to make you an elite soldier. When we eventually do link up together and join our forces, your work is going to be rewarded and noted, okay? Don't fucking leave CPUSA and just join this shit. Stay in the CPUSA. Now, I'm working with people in the CPUSA on a case-by-case basis. People are telling me their situations. They're telling me and I'm giving them advice about whether they should stay or whether they should shift over. That's going to have to be on a case-by-case basis. But if you are already in the CPUSA and you leave CPUSA just to join this shit, that's desertion. And you won't be fucking allowed. So if you're in the CPUSA and you want to just leave CPUSA and join this one, you've got to give me a good reason. You've got to convince me that's a good fucking reason. Otherwise, you're not going to be allowed in the new org. ever, right? Desertion is a crime. We don't allow desertion. Nobody who deserts their post is going to be allowed to be in the CPUSA 2036 initiative. Period. Right? Period. So this doesn't change anything as far as the taquilla is concerned within the CPUSA. However, years are passing. The CPUSA is dead as fuck. It's doing nothing. It's doing nothing. Someone should be doing this shit in the meantime. And that's what we want to do. We're just lounging around waiting. No, we have to actually get the ball rolling. Because when the time comes that we take over the CPUSA, we're going to already have built this huge MAGMA communist organization that's just going to swallow the CPUSA. Like, it will just swallow it right away, no matter what the outcomes of the elections are, right? We need to start doing the work now. We need to start doing the work now. I expected that the CPUSA was going to be doing work. They're not. They're not fielding any candidates. Thanks so much, Benign. Appreciate it.
Individual clubs should have gym memberships for all.
Yeah. I mean, CPUSA is not doing any work. They're not running candidates. They're not doing any outreach work. They're not reaching out to the people. They're not talking to the working class. They're doing nothing. I know what's going on in the CPUSA. They are having club meetings and jacking themselves off. And there are unironically polycules that are fucking going on in these clubs. You have no idea how many people are reporting to me, yeah, this club is run by the polycule. This club is run by the polycule. I get reports of what's fucking going on. These are extreme. I can't go into detail. When I get on Rumble, I will. But this is like, the CPUSA sociologically is very similar to the Nazi Party in the early 1930s. That's all I have to say. When it comes to this polycule conspiracy that we're starting to uncover, we're uncovering a literal polycule conspiracy within the CPUSA. And it's not just local to one branch. There are multiple branches that are run by these polycules, and they're extremely aggressive, and these are the people who are talking the most shit online. They're the most aggressive people online, and they're all part of these polycules. And one of the goals of the we have for the CPUSA is we're going to disband the polycules. Do undercovers need to join the polycules? Fuck no! If you join those, we disavow you, okay? Anyone who joins that, we disavow you. You don't have our support anymore. You're on your fucking own. So no. But the polycule conspiracy is real in the CPUSA. And one of our goals is to clean up. We're going to disband the polycules. We're going to disband the polycules. We're disbanding that nonsense. We're going to institute strict discipline. We're going to set an example in our own organization. I'm highly considering banning all organization-based relationships. So if you meet someone in the organization, you can't have any private or sexual relationship with them at all. Now, if you have a girlfriend and you both join before you join the organization, yeah, that's fine. If you're related in other ways, not just through the organization, that's fine. But I am highly considering for the Constitution making it illegal for there to be in the party any kind of sexual relationships between members. Period. Also, this organization will have standards. Now, we're going to be open to all as long as you can keep it private. What do I mean by that? If you can't help but advertise your tastes, your style, you're not fit for the party or the organization we're doing. Period. We're not going to have people with blue hair. We're not going to have any of that nonsense. We're not going to allow it. We're going to have standards. The standards are you have to be normal. How do you define normal? You got to dress normally. You got to dress in a way that would be acceptable to get into a wedding function. Not a wedding, sorry, that's wrong. A job interview. It has to be the same way you would dress for a job interview. Like a normal job interview. It's got to be the same way. It's got to have like a standard. And that's going to be subjectively defined, right? You can't wear costumes that are like, you can't be a furry, you know what I mean? You can't wear cat ears or none of that. It's a no-nonsense policy, period, right? if you dress like a normal person, if you carry yourself like a normal person, we're gonna ban discrimination on the basis of race, on the basis of sex, and on the basis of sexuality. So as long as people keep their all sexuality kept private, no problem, right? It'll be welcome to everyone, period. And anyone could join it, really. As long as they don't act weird. It's going to be open to anyone, period. Yeah, no hippie shit. Also, another thing, no drug addiction, period. No drugs. No drug addiction at all, no drugs, period. Now, marijuana, it's going to be subjective. If you're like a mega pothead, where it's like you're smoking, you're going to meetings high and you're smoking, no, that's not going to be allowed. But if you do it on your own spare time, it'll be allowed. We're not going to be so strict. We're going to be like, you can't drink at all and you can't smoke at all. We're not going to be that extreme. But, for example, you can't be someone who's like, maybe so much shingin.
Man's just evolved into Red Kamal Pasha. Respect.
Thank you so
Thumbs
much,
up.
Shingen. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, no porn, none of that stuff, no prostitution, any of that stuff, all gonna be very much banned. Why light on weed? It's gonna be discouraged, but it's just so much part of the culture today in America. For young people, it's difficult to. I don't want to police that, but if you're like a straight out, like you're wearing like the pot marijuana shirt and you're just like a fucking pothead who's like, yeah, man, 420. Like, yeah, it's not going to be allowed, right? We're going to institute the standards of conservatism that the Communist Party used to have. Of course, it's going to be adapted to our times, but we're going to, like, have a standard of, like, conservative acceptability. We're not going to allow it's going to be a no-nonsense communist organization. No-nonsense communist organization. That's the goal. No nonsense. Be fucking mature. Don't be ridiculous. Respect, and it's gonna be based on respect. You gotta fucking respect the organization. Don't dishonor it. Don't dishonor it. Don't make light of it. Don't make a fucking joke of it. Respect it, right? This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna basically LARP how we imagine the Communist Party should be. It's almost like it's basically Gramscian hegemony. Gramsci is like, you need to build cultural hegemony and then you can get political hegemony. Well, we need to build communist hegemony before we have political hegemony over the Communist Party. That makes sense. It's Gramscian hegemony. Now, if this organization is successful, there's no guarantee it will be. If it is, it's going to exert so much discursive pressure on the OG Communist Party. There are going to be debates within the party. It's going to fucking drive them crazy because we're attaching this organization to that party, whether they like it or not. So it's going to also be a pressure valve because they're going to see, look at them with their successes. Look how they're making headlines. They're so successful. We have to learn from them. They're onto something. Like, we're going to provoke that kind of discourse within the OG Communist Party. And the goal is success. Okay, the goal is to achieve success. It's going to be a no-nonsense Communist Party. And it's going to be a business. When I say it's a business, just like a business says, you got to turn a fucking profit. This one's going to say, you got to turn over some fucking results. Where's your fucking results? If you're not effective in your results, that's either because you're incompetent or your methods need to be updated. This is not going to be a complacent political party where political identity is going to glue it together. That's why it's not really going to be a political party, because a political party usually is anchored just by political identity. Oh yeah, we're all communists, so let's just all sit around and be happy. No, this is going to be constant, like, experimentation, see what works, see what fails. What works, guys, remember the slogan. What works will go viral. Everything that works will get attention. What works goes viral. So the people who discover a method or an organizational strategy or a tactic that works, we're going to use the infrared online network to fucking make that go viral, and everyone's going to adopt that method. It's going to be like Darwinian selection, right? What works goes viral. What goes viral gets implemented on a national scale. And then it works, and it's just growth, right? Discover the method, reveal the method, practice the method. It's going to be the basic idea. And this is just, if you combine the fucking internet with IRL praxis, it's like the potential is unlimited when you think about it. We have a whole fucking internet we can use to like actually, in a Darwinian selection, find out the things that actually work when it comes to reaching people, growing the organization, possibly even fielding candidates. We could be making alliances with local MAGA candidates. We could convince a local MAGA candidate to be interested in communist ideas. We could rep them and we can help them get elected in a local setting. We could form alliances of that nature, right? There's a lot of different things we can do. Will LARPing be allowed? Yeah, but it has to look cool. It has to be tasteful. Cringe LARP will not be verified by the central blockchain verification mechanism. If you do some shit to try and discredit us, you're gonna be kicked out of the system. So there's going to be an explicit formal verification method. We're gonna say the only people who are, it's not enough to, wear our hat and rep us. An action has to be verified. If the action is not verified, it has nothing to do with us. It's gonna be like that. It's like the basic idea. Every action has to be verified. Actions which are not verified have nothing to do with us. Right? Yeah, local candidates. So Operation MAGMA is going to be both for the MAGA movement and the CPUSA. We want to have 1 foot in MAGA and 1 foot in the CPUSA. And this organization is going to be the isthmus connecting both MAGA and the CPUSA, which we desperately need right now. Because CPUSA, there's no way to reach MAGA when you're operating within the confines of the CPUSA. I expect, I can be wrong, that it's going to be primarily a Midwest phenomenon. Because the CPUSA chapter in Ohio, Wisconsin, and Michigan, they're extremely weak, they're extremely irrelevant, and these are places, this is fertile soil for building a working class cadre, is in the Midwest. Ideally, we want a Midwest communist headquarters, which will overthrow the New York coastal elites, CPUSA. Just like William Z. Foster, who decided to move the headquarters from New York to Chicago. Right? Or was that Foster? I'm pretty sure it was William Z. Foster, right? Moved the headquarters from New York to Chicago. The heartland, the countryside, the American working class, right? So this is our goal. This is our goal. We have the goal of encircling the cities. So we're going to place heavy emphasis on rural activity. All you city dwellers, should I open a chapter in New York or LA? Probably not. Should I just join your already existing CPUSA or YCL club? Because there's only so much you can fucking do in an urban setting, right? It's really the rural settings, the small towns, that are going to be what matters. The small municipalities, the small districts, the small towns, that's where you're going to be doing the most, activity and recruiting. If you want a takeaway from this, this is the takeaway. We are taking over the Communist Party one way or another. But it's happening. Wouldn't it be easier to go viral in a more urban place? Fuck no, right? No, it wouldn't. It definitely wouldn't. No. The internet has eliminated that problem. Anything can go viral. It could be anywhere, right? You can go viral in fucking the middle of the ocean as long as you're connected to the internet. So geography is not important as far as going viral is concerned. If anything, it's the opposite. We're going to shake up the whole fucking thing. We're going to shake up the entire meaning of what it means to be a communist. I promise you guys this will objectively make... Just like when I went to a Trump rally and did the MAGA communism video, I shaked shit up. I know they coped and shit and, your shoes were too small, whatever the fuck they said. I know they coped about it, but the truth is that objectively changed people's unconscious, right? It had a huge fucking effect. Imagine that, but fucking nationwide, happening every week. That's the fucking goal. That's the goal. So it's not quite just forming a new party. It's hard to explain, is why I had to make this announcement. It's not quite forming a new party. It's more like forming an auxiliary organization, a kind of militant wing of the Communist Party USA that engages in the correct praxis regardless of what the leadership says or wants. It's pretty much what it is. It's an auxiliary wing. It's a militant wing. And we're going to have drip. We're going to have the best. We're going to be the most stylish. We're going to be shit people look at and say, yo, that's some shit I want to be part of, right? So I'm going to have to, we're going to be doing more streams on this, especially when I finally announce the organization, what the Constitution is going to be, what the protocols are going to be. By the way, it's not a party. You can call me brother number one. This is not a fucking party with democratic centralism. It's not. This is an operation. I am going to be me and the showrunners will be fucking dictators. Deal with it. Fucking deal with it. You can call me comrade number 3. You can call me comrade number 4. You can call me brother number 1. Because this is a Saloth style invisible organization. It's not going to be invisible, but it's like, this is not the party per se. This is the engine to kickstart the conquest of the party. The OG Communist Party will, that's going to have democratic centralism and all that kind of shit. But this one, this is the vanguard of the vanguard, right? We're not pretending it's going to be, it's not a party. It's not like a formal party. I don't think we're going to run candidates. It's just going to be like a vehicle. It's going to be an organization. Reconstitute the Communist Party. Will be in the founding constitution. Theory education requirements. Actually, yes. We probably will have we'll do what the Bolsheviks did maybe, and we'll just do like some vetting mechanism to like quiz people. I don't know, but that in the age of the internet, you can get the cheat code answers. We will vet people to join. There's going to be a standard of being able to join. Yeah, this is the bus we take to the CPUSA. Mo, I'm just not interested in that. I'm not interested in that. Also, a lot of work is going to have to be done simplifying the infrared cannon in terms of theory, which I think I'll do. A lot of shit's going to have to be simplified. Like, holy fuck, there's so much education you have to do to be a functional infrared ideologist, I guess, if you call it that. It's just the bar of education in infrared, if you actually understand it, is extremely fucking high. I want to kind of simplify that, dumb it down a great deal more. People shouldn't have to all read and master Hegel. There's got to be a way to simplify. Yeah, infrared curriculum, that's going to definitely be part of it. Shit's got to be dumbed down. Definitely dumbed down. How strict will the vetting be? There has to be a comprehension of class struggle. No, it's going to be stuff like, do you understand what class struggle is? Do you understand what that means, right? Do you understand basic Marxism, right? Like, we're talking about the very base much tanks.
So basically what Mao did?
Yeah, really, yeah. This is building from Maoism. We are Maoists. This is the next step. It's going to be a lot of work, but after doing a lot of thinking, I've decided that's where we're going for 2023. So when it comes to the presidential election in 2024, it's like, I don't give a fuck. We got no control over that, right? I'm not interested. I'm going to focus on building this organization. I don't really give a fuck about the presidential elections that are all controlled by, popular opinion. They're controlled by opinion, right? We have to be above opinion and study Hegel. Know what I mean? Like, it's a two-party system. We don't really have any business getting into that. Nothing we could do about that, really. So I wanted to give you guys some hope. I wanted you guys to have the hope and the confidence that, the sorry state of praxis that we're seeing right now is not going to be forever. And in the very short term, there's going to be an outlet for you guys to do shit in real life. I wish I could tell you guys the name. The name is sick, okay? The name is sick, but I'm going to announce that when more things are finalized. But I hope you guys are excited for this. We're gonna be able to rep an organization we're fucking proud of. But for now, join the CPUSA. Join the CPUSA. Definitely join. Definitely join the CPUSA. Definitely still join the CPUSA. If you don't do that, the whole thing is out of the window, right? It's all out of the window.